Come yesterday. The deadly ride. The rain started abruptly, the way it often does in Chicago at the end of October. Large, heavy drops lashed against the asphalt, turning it into a black mirror where the reflections of streetlights and neon signs quivered. I stood under the awning of the Mill coffee shop, wrapping myself in a thin autumn coat that felt utterly useless against the damp wind chilling me to the bone. What an idiot! I should have dressed warmer. Mary. I saw the forecast on my phone this morning. I knew the clouds were heavy. The last customers had left half an hour ago, leaving behind the acrid smell of burnt coffee, wet umbrellas, and someone's pungent perfume. I wiped the tables, arranged the chairs, and counted the day's earnings under the watchful eye of the grumpy manager, John. Now that the shift was over, exhaustion hit me, that heavy, dragging weight that settles in your knees after 12 hours on your feet behind a bar. Go home. Mary, why are you still hanging around? John called out, checking the alarm. Is your husband coming? Look at that downpour. Don't even think about walking. He was supposed to, I muttered, instinctively reaching for my smartphone. The screen remained dead and black despite my persistent thumbing of the button. Damn it. It died around lunch, and I, buried under a mountain of latte receipts, forgot to plug it in. And here was the result. No calls, no Uber. A message from Adam had come earlier when the phone still showed signs of life. Stuck at the site in Kansas, won't be back until tomorrow noon. Sorry, honey. Take a cab. I've put money on the card. Love you. Warm words, but little comfort now. Nearly midnight, freezing rain, a deserted street on the outskirts of the district. A good 40-minute drive home, but at this hour, the buses had long since retired to their depots. I sighed, popped my collar, and stepped out from the shelter. The cold water immediately claimed my body, soaking my hair and trickling down my neck. I trudged toward the bus stop, hoping for a miracle. The street was empty, save for the occasional car roaring past, drenching the sidewalks in arcs of filthy water. And then, as if in answer to my silent prayer, a yellow silhouette appeared in the distance. The car moved strangely, slowly, hesitantly, as if scouting for someone in the dark. A dim taxi sign flickered on the roof with unevenly blinking red letters. A cab. A wave of relief washed over me. Without a second thought, I raised my arm, nearly stepping out into the lane. The headlights blinded me for a moment, but the car smoothly pulled to the curb, its worn wipers scraping against the glass. The door opened with a dull, metallic creak. Good evening, child. Get in quick, before you're soaked to the bone. Where to? A raspy voice with a soft but peculiar accent called from the cabin. I practically jumped inside, struggling to slam the heavy door shut. The interior met me with warm, stale air. A thick smell of cheap tobacco, old leather, and something else. Sickly sweet and musty, like a basement that hadn't been aired out in years. But at that moment, it didn't matter. The main thing was it was dry and warm, and this old bucket of bolts promised to deliver me to my cozy bed. Oh, thank you. The weather is just nightmare, I exhaled, shaking droplets from my lashes. I need to get to 1428 West Belmont Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60657. Please. The driver nodded, struggling to shift the gear lever. The car, an old, weathered Ford Falcon the color of a rotten lemon, smoothly pulled away. In the dim glow of the dashboard, I could finally see him. A squat, stout man in his 60s wearing a fur vest. He had a thick black mustache and coarse hair, heavily tinged with grey at the temples. Heavy rings with dark stones glinted on his thick, short fingers gripping the wheel. When he turned to glance in the mirror, gold crowns flashed on his teeth. His smile was wide, almost welcoming. "Don't often see beauties on the street at this hour," he said, returning his gaze to the road. "Working late?" "Yes, at the coffee shop," I replied curtly, trying not to breathe too deeply. The smell in the car was becoming more intrusive, clinging to my skin. The driver shook his head sympathetically. "Hard way to make a buck. People are nervous these days, mean. They bother you, I bet." Sometimes, I turned to the window, watching the familiar streets slip by. The rain turned the world into a blurred watercolor. Streetlights stretched into long yellow needles, shop windows bled into smears of color. "Don't you worry, sister, I'll get you there fast." "I know the way," he grinned again into the rearview mirror. The car turned off the lit boulevard toward the residential areas, but for some reason, it didn't take the straight path. It began to weave through dim, industrial alleys. I felt a sudden chill in the pit of my stomach. "Excuse me, I think we missed a turn." "The main road is faster, isn't it?" "Traffic from an accident, sweetheart, pipe repairs, everything's dug up." The driver waved a hand dismissively. "I know a shortcut through the garages." "Don't worry, the old man won't hurt you." I nodded, but a restless dread stirred deep inside. A few minutes passed as I tried to pull myself together. Fatigue, nerves, a dead phone. It all plays tricks on the imagination. I looked out the window again, and my heart skipped a beat. The landscape outside had become wrong. The buildings seemed to lose their sharpness, their edges blurring as if viewed through thick, murky water. A familiar gas station on the corner was shrouded in grey mist, its lights glowing dimly like rot in a forest. "Cold, child? I can turn up the heat." The driver's voice dropped lower. "No, it's fine. I'm okay," I replied, feeling goosebumps race down my spine. And it wasn't the cold. I glanced stealthily at the driver. He sat there, swaying slightly with emotion, though the road was perfectly smooth. His thick fingers drummed rhythmically on the wheel. And then, he went silent. Not just stopped talking, he became absolutely quiet. Even his heavy, wheezing breath vanished. A silence so profound it made my ears ring settled in the cabin. Only the howl of the wind outside and the endless hiss of tires. Unconsciously, I raised my eyes to the rearview mirror and froze. In the reflection, in the darkness of the back seat, sat silhouettes. Faint, blurred, like shadows from a campfire. They sat motionless, staring straight ahead, but I felt the weight of their dead gazes on my skin. I turned my head back with great effort. The back seat was empty. Only my bag lay where I'd left it. My heart hammered against my ribs. I looked at the mirror again. They were there. Clearer now. One silhouette sat right next to me, almost touching, but in reality, there was only empty air. One shadow had its neck twisted at an impossible angle, its head resting on its shoulder. Another seemed to be weeping, covering its face with thin hands. A third stared directly at me from the mirror world, and where its eyes should have been, there was absolute, ringing void. "Are you comfortable?" the taxi driver asked suddenly. His voice sounded so close, as if he were leaning right into my ear, yet he hadn't moved. I flinched, pressing myself against the door. "What?" "Yes. Yes, I'm fine." "Will we be there soon?" He smiled again in the mirror. Gold teeth resembled a predator's snarl in the gloom. "Soon, sister." "Almost there." But we didn't arrive in 5 minutes, or 10. Minutes stretched into endless hours. The road outside completely lost all landmarks. Occasionally, silhouettes of buildings flickered by, but they weren't Chicago homes. They were grim, grey monoliths with hollow eye sockets for windows and crooked roofs reaching into an eternally leaden sky. Sometimes figures stood on the shoulder, motionless, facing the road. It felt as though they followed the car with gazes I couldn't see but felt like burns on my skin. "Where are we?" My voice broke, sounding thin and alien. "On the road, beauty." "Where else?" The driver replied. He wasn't smiling anymore. He stared straight ahead, his face turned to stone, devoid of all emotion. I want to get out. Please stop. I don't care about the money, just stop." "Can't stop here," he cut me off. "Stopping is forbidden on this road. Too many bad people out tonight. Dangerous to wander alone." There wasn't a trace of friendliness left in his voice, only cold, iron fact. And that golden smile remained frozen on his face, but now it looked like a crudely painted cardboard mask. "Stop right now!" I screamed, yanking the door handle with all my might. The handle wouldn't budge, as if welded to the metal. The driver slowly turned his head toward me. Not his body, just his head, at a completely unnatural angle. His neck gave a loud crack, the sound of dry branches snapping. That crack echoed in my spine. "Now, shut up and sit still," he hissed, the last of his human tone gone. "Almost arrived." I recoiled, my back against the glass. Panic, sharp and uncontrollable, squeezed my throat. I squeezed my eyes shut, trying to force myself awake. "Mary, breathe. It's just a nightmare. You just fell asleep at the shop," I told myself. But the cold of the seat, the smell of rot filling the cabin, and that crack were terrifyingly real. This wasn't just a kidnapping. This was something ancient and wrong. I looked at the driver, at his coarse hands. My gaze involuntarily crawled down to the pedals. And there, I saw what finally tore the ground from under my feet. Where there should have been feet in shoes, something else protruded from beneath his trousers. Dark, covered in thick, bristly hair. And at the ends were not feet, but heavy, black, cloven hooves. They pressed against the pedals, and with every stroke, there was no metallic sound, but a dull, bony thud. My God! Those are real hooves. The entire world inverted. All the strangeness, the blurred city, the shadows in the mirror, the infinite road, snapped into one monstrous picture. This wasn't a taxi. It was a soul trap. I was in a cage with the devil himself. A frozen hammer of realization struck my chest. Images from my mother's ghost stories swirled in my head. Tales of a power that wanders the borders of worlds, picking up those who let their guard down. A taxi to nowhere. Now I understood what those silhouettes in the mirror were, the ones who didn't make it, who didn't find a way out. And then, a memory flared like a lightning strike. My mother's voice, quiet but clear. She grew up in a remote village and knew everything about what walked the earth besides men. Sitting in the kitchen, she had once told me, "Remember, Mary, the unclean are cunning, but they live outside our time. They don't understand order. If they tangle you, if they won't let go, say the words that break time. Say. Come yesterday, it throws them into confusion. They cannot stand the muddle of dates, they flee from it." Back then, as a child, I had laughed, imagining stupid demons scratching their heads. Now, those words were my only hope. The car raced down an absolutely straight road, vanishing into a black abyss. On either side lay a wasteland of crooked, bare trees like giant skeletons. The driver spoke again, his voice filled with a sickly, unhealthy sweetness. "Do you like riding with me, beauty? We could see each other more often. I'd take you to places you haven't even seen in your dreams. Well, what do you say? Pretty great, right?" He turned around completely. With a horrific snap of his vertebrae, his neck elongated, becoming unnaturally long. His smile stretched to his ears, revealing rows of small, sharp, shark-like yellow teeth. The skin on his face tightened, becoming white and smooth like parchment. His eyes flared with a dull, venomous yellow light. I felt sick. I clenched my fists until my nails drew blood. The pain helped return what was left of my will. I straightened up, looked directly into those yellow pits, and said clearly, just as my mother had taught me, "Come yesterday." The effect was instantaneous. The driver's snarl faltered. His features contorted with pure shock, followed by rage. He jerked his head sharply. "What? What did you say, girl?" I felt adrenaline surge through my veins. I repeated louder, more confident. "Come yesterday." The creature's face began to fall apart. It was losing its human mask. The skin darkened, cracking like parched earth. The mustache shriveled into tufts of foul bristles. Its eyes ignited with a hellish crimson fire. A roar erupted, so full of malice that the Ford Falcon's windows spiderwebbed with cracks. The car screamed and lurched, but the world outside began to reverse. The shadow in the back seat thrashed, reaching out with formless clawed limbs but unable to touch me. The driver, now almost a shaggy monster, gripped the wheel with talons. He muttered curses in a language that made my ears ring. And I huddled in the seat and screamed, never stopping. "Come yesterday. Come yesterday." Suddenly, a sharp, deafening screech of brakes. The car spun, throwing me forward with immense force. An impact. And then silence. I opened my eyes. We were standing at the very same stop by the mill. The rain was still drizzling. The streetlight flickered overhead. The passenger door opened by itself with a loud click. I didn't think. Instinct threw me onto the wet asphalt. I ran as I had never run in my life, my legs weightless, never looking back. The cold air burned my lungs. Only after running 100 yards did I dare look back. The street was empty. No yellow car, no sound of an engine. Only the rain and a lone stray dog huddled against a wall. I reached home on trembling legs. My keys shook so much it took 5 tries to hit the lock. I locked every bolt, threw the chain, and propped a chair against the door. I turned on every light I could find and curled up in the corner of the sofa, pulled a throw over my head. The trembling didn't stop until morning. I kept thinking a yellow side panel would flash outside my window and a bloody taxi sign would ignite. Adam returned 3 days later. I sobbed on his shoulder, trying to tell him about the hooves and come yesterday. He was silent for a long time, stroking my hair, then said it was a hallucination brought on by sheer exhaustion. He convinced me to see a doctor and take some light sedatives. Gradually, the fear faded. I almost convinced myself it was a delusion. Darkness, stress, an old car with some modified pedal. But since then, I never stay late at work. And if I must return late, I only call official apps, carefully checking the make and license plate. And always, before I get in, The first thing I do is look at the driver's feet. Be careful on the roads at the end of October. Not everyone who offers a ride wants to take you home. If you feel something is wrong, remember my mother's words.